Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 27th of April, and I haven't quite got myself dressed just yet. It's early. I thought, get up, get it done, get out of the way. Hair's in a bit of a mess. 27th of April 2021. It is Wednesday, bang, smack, middle of the week. Look, see what's going on inside the UK. Wow, what's lying ahead of us today? Thank you all for coming by. Don't forget, the 5th of May, we've got local cancers, Mayor of London. All the votes need to be in by the 5th of May. Anyway, let's have a look. Think safety, think first. Do not enter your vehicle under the influence of alcohol or narcotics. Making sure you and passengers have seatbelts and babies have seatbelts adjacent to the car seat. Check your engine oil, water coolant tank. Make sure it tops up to maximum level. Check your PSI limits. Your PSI limits on the side of your treads. Making sure your tyres are not bowled also. Is your car taxed, MOT, insured? Have you got a driving licence? All the simple things in life that there's some incidents on the road. We have to make these. I have to give a shout out to the youth of today, or adults trying to introduce youth of today to UK roads. Things to think about. Check your for further road actions, further road signs. Check for road works. Drive vigilantly around road works, just in case a road worker is living from behind the fence onto the main road. So drive vigilantly, just in case you need to slow down and stop. Check your centre mirror, wing mirror before turning, acting into a safe, sufficient directional choice. Just simple things in life could save someone's life. Anyway, look at local constituency and culture. Harwich Road. This crash. Reports of a crash on Harwich Road near Mary Lane South. Traffic is coping well. 6:39 reported. So that's this morning. If it's been cleared yet, I don't know. Maybe not. Traffic congestion A120 westbound at B1018 Gaddy's Corner. Usual Queens approaching the roundabout. 10 past 6 a.m. 6:22. Traffic congestion A127 Arterial Road westbound for B1013. Next Tudor Way Tesco roundabout to the Fairway Progress Road. Travel time is 10 minutes. 6:22 a.m. Slow traffic on M25 anti-clockwise between junction 27, M11, M25, A10, Enfield in patches. 5:48 a.m. Slow traffic on M25 anti-clockwise between junction 21, M1 and junction 19. A41 Watford. 5:45 a.m. First reported. South End. M25. 3 lanes closed. Long delays and queuing traffic for 7 miles due to a stalled truck on M25 anti-clockwise at Clackett Lane services. Congestion to junction 7 M23 lanes 1, 2 and 3 of 4 are closed. With the lorry stuck in lane 3, travel time is 30 minutes. Queuing traffic lane 1249 southbound for M2 junction 5 Sittingbourne Stockbury roundabout. Usual rush hour delays not helped by earlier breakdown on the roundabout. 5:50 a.m. first reported. This is quite ironic news for this morning, ladies and gents. Kellogg's in court battle. New rules for 5 sugar cereals. Food giant Kellogg's is taking the government to court over new rules that would prevent some cereals being prominently displayed in stores because of their high sugar content. Kellogg said the rules failed to consider nutritional value of the milk added to the product. The company says independent market data shows cereals are eaten with milk or yogurt in 92% of cases. But the government said the new rules would help tackle childhood obesity. Under new regulations for England, which would come into force from October, retailer promotions on food and drink high in fat, salt, or sugar will be restricted. Do you think that's McDonald's? Do you reckon that's right down to McDonald's, really? Do you think that's, I mean, not down to McDonald's, down to cereal? Do you think that's down to cereal? Probably the McDonald's and fast food we're eating after that throughout the day. It's probably the main reason for obesity in children. Anyway, moving on. Products covered by the restrictions will also not be allowed to be featured in key locations such as checkouts, store entrances, RONs, and their online equivalents. Popular brands such as Crunchy Nut, cornflakes, and fruit and fibre are classified as foods that are high in fat, sugar, or salt in their dry form, and so retailers may be prevented from displaying such products in prominent positions, harming sales. Including added milk would change the calculation by reducing the proportion of sugar and salt content relatively to the weight of the overall serving. I mean, it might have a bit of an impact, but I think you might need to change the whole child's diet if it's obese, looking at fast food and whatever else, you know. And I'm being deadly serious. Chris Sillick, Kellogg's UK Managing Director, said, "We believe the formula being used by the government to measure the nutritional value of breakfast cereals is wrong and not implemented legally. It measures cereals dry when they are almost always eaten with milk. All this matters because unless you take the amount of nutritional elements added when cereal is eaten with milk, the full nutritional value of the meal is not measured." However, some food campaigners disagreed. Caroline Cerny for the Obesity Health Alliance said, "This is a blatant attempt by the multinational food company to wiggle out of the vital new regulations that will limit their ability to profit from the marketing their unhealthy products. It's shocking that a company like Kellogg's would sue the government over its plans to help people be healthier rather than investing in removing sugar from their cereals." A Department of Health and Social Care spokesperson said breakfast cereals contribute 7%, a significant amount to the average daily free sugar intakes of children. Restricting the promotion and advertising for less healthy food is an important part of the cross-government strategy to halve childhood obesity by 2030. Prevent harmful disease and improve healthy life expectancy so we can continue to live up health across the nation. The BBC understands the government is determined to fight Kellogg's legal case, as it might allow other producers to suggest ways their products' fat, sugar, and salt content could be reduced if served with other ingredients. In a way, it feels it could undermine the new regulations. Hearing on the issue begins later at the Royal Courts of Justice in London. Just going to quickly have a short break and get back to the show. Get back to the show. Bear with me, guys. I'm so thankful you guys coming down to them. Just keep building proclamation news and gatherings. Keep building. Thank you all. There's a lot. I understand how much it means to you guys. Sometimes you don't get your voice, you'll think you heard what you do in your day-to-day routine. This is what we do. Thank you so much. Spotify. We got Spotify. We found this. Here and everywhere, like this. Thank you. Bear with me. There we go. Bear with me 2 seconds. I think I'm not sure. There we go. Right. Radio's not coming out, guys. My goodness. Oh, no, I should have done. No, I should have done that. This is the way forward, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Fassi. Thank you, Rachel Jackson, Robert, Austin, Leonard. Thank you all come through. We appreciate you guys. Not joking. Just gonna go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, the 25th of April, 2020. My goodness, is it the last Monday of the month? It is the last Monday of the month. Welcome to Population Gammons with Professor Johnson. Right, we're going to look at give you a bit of a rundown. Now I'd like to approach my radio show. Well, harvesters. Okay. UK roads. Safety first. If you've got a driving license, car insurance, tax, as a bulb, make sure water for road workers, make sure they're not leaving guideposts. Berries, Edmonds, A3102, Taven Road eastbound before A134, Copenhagen Way, travel time is 10 minutes due to delays on all approaches to the roundabout, not helped by the closure of the A134 as traffic diverts. Just off Chelmsford, A127, road closed and queued traffic due to the crash. The car and the lorry involved in A127, South End, Ontario Road, both ways between B186 to Westmisnter, A128 Tilbury Road, halfway out to roundabout, congestion in London, Wales, and along the M25 road. London A2, slow traffic on A2, Shooters Hill Road between A202 Queen's Road and Prince Charles Road roundabout. 1 p.m. First reported. M25, heavy traffic on M25 clockwise from junction 13A30 Stain by bypass to junction 15 M4J4B Kingston Upton Times M25. You know this is West London. Any of you that don't know, very slow traffic on M25 anti-clockwise from junction 13 A30 Stain bypass lane to junction at A32 to Beachway Chester. Extensive delays from an earlier accident have emerged with the usual delays. 10 past 3 p.m. Last but not least, Milton Keynes. Spilling your beans in Milton Keynes. M1. One lane closed due to stalled car on the M1 northbound from junction 13 A421 Bedford Road, Bedford Milton Keynes South to junction 14 A509 Milton Keynes. Traffic is coming well. Lane 1 of 3 is closed. 10 to 5 p.m. I'm going to share them comments just shortly. One more second. Absolutely horrific behaviour. Docent, crazy behaviour by adults. Assuming from what I could see by the headlines. Sexual offence victims face longest ever court waits. We can think about sexual offence the other day. Well, how horrific is that? Over 40 child sexual abuses and deaths. 8 years of prison. My goodness. This is horrific. Serious sexual offences are taking the longest time on record to go through Crown Court in England and Wales. There's exclusive data. Move on the show. We'll listen to a bit more of that in a second. Yesterday's over. It's all good. It's all good and heard. We've got criminology in Southend, Essex. Southend hospital nurse threatened to smack patient in the face. It's also found she used excessive force when physically handling a patient. An Essex nurse has been suspended for a year after she threatened to smack a patient between the eyes and using excessive force when physically handling a patient. Robin Harrower was found to have yelled at a patient twice and forced their head back when employed in Southend in 2019. Miss Harrower, who was employed as a nurse at the Mid and South Essex Hospitals Trust in Southend, threatened the patient and used excessive physical force at the end of 2019. A nursing tribunal has now found a charge against her, proved, and has suspended the nurse for at least a year. The tribunal held between April 12th and April 20th found Miss Harrower had brought the nursing profession into disrepute following her actions. It heard that on December 11, 2019, Miss Harrower was called to support on the High Dependency Unit, HDU, to cover breaks. It was reported that Miss Harrower did not receive a handover at this time. Miss Harrower was asked to support with looking after the patient, who was described as vulnerable and agitated, and was being attended by another at a time. During her care for the patient, the tribunal panel ruled she had shouted, "I am American, you know, and if you hurt me, I will smack you between the eyes," at the patient. On the second occasion, she shouted, "Do that again, I'll smash you in the face," or words to that effect. Witnesses told the panel they recalled Miss Harrower's demeanour to be threatening, and her voice was raised and also threatening. In her evidence, Miss Harrower claimed the patient in question had grabbed her arm and dug into it, and also was in possession of scissors. Despite no other witnesses reporting seeing any scissors, the tribunal also found that Miss Harrower had put her hand underneath the patient's chin, forced her head back, and used excessive force. In its conclusion on Miss Harrower's actions, the panel said, the panel noted that Miss Harrower was verbally aggressive and threatening towards a patient more than once during the same incident, and also applied an appropriate restraint. In a note that the incident occurred during the course of Miss Harrower's professional duties as a nurse, the panel further noted that Miss Harrower's aggression was directed towards a patient who was vulnerable. disoriented and confused, and that her sanction had potentially to cause harm to the patient. Wow, that's naughty. Very naughty. The panel found that Miss Howe's action did fall seriously short of the conduct and standard expected as a nurse and amounted to misconduct. The panel found that Miss Howard lacked empathy and compassion during the incident and that there was a strong risk of behaviour being repeated in the future and suspended her for the full 12 months. The spokesperson for the Mid South Essex NHS Foundation said, although internal investigation was conducted and appropriate disciplinary action was taken following the incident in December 2019, the nurse was moved from all her duties, and after investigation, she was referred to nursing and midwifery council. The trust confirmed Miss however, left in May 2020. Do not forget about local elections on the 5th of May. You need to apply for your polling card through the council if you haven't already done it. Look, check online. And the polling stations are usually in community centres, preschools, sometimes in actually normal schools as well. Just keep it. Put on your sat nav. Where's the local, or Google? Where is the local poll stations? Man on Sunday rejects Sir Lindsay Hoyle's invite over Andrew Rayner's story. It's quite funny, this story. I've read into this already. It's funny. The new Sharon Stone, it's been said. The editor of the Mail on Sunday has declined an invitation to meet with the Speaker of the House of Commons over a controversial article about Labour's leader, Andrew Rayner. David didn't reject Sir Lindsay Hoyle's invite to discuss the piece, which claimed Tory MPs and Miss Rayner's crosses and uncrosses their legs to distract Boris Johnson in Parliament. Mr Johnson said it was a sexist stripe. Mr Dennon said it should be up to the journalists to decide what they report. The article sparked criticism from both sides of the Commons after its publication at the weekend. The story said Tory MPs have mischievously suggested that Miss Rayner likes to distract the PM when he is in the dispatch box by deploying a fully clothed parliamentary equivalent of Sharon Stone's infamous scene in 1992 film Basic Instinct. Mr Johnson said he respected Miss Rayner as a parliamentarian and deployed misogyny in a piece, while the Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer called it a disgraceful new low for the Conservative Party. Miss Rayner said she was crestfallen over the story and that women in politics face sexism and misogyny every day. She accused the article of being steeped in classism, suggested she was thick and she had to attend a comprehensive school, and insulted she was promiscuous for having a child at 16. Speaking in the House on Monday, Sir Lindsay called the story misogynistic and offensive, and said he was arranging a meeting with Mr Dillon and the Mail on Sunday political editor Glenn Owen, whose name appeared next to the story. In the letter on Tuesday, Mr Dillon said he had initially intended to attend the meeting to draw the line under the matters, but Sir Lindsay's comments in the Commons indicated that he had already passed judgment on our article. The Man on Sunday deplores sexism and misogyny in all its forms. Mr Dillon has wrote, however, journalists must be free to report what they are told by the MPs about conservations, which take place in our House of Commons, however unpalatable some may find them. He added that freedom of the press would not last if journalists have taken instruction from officials in the House of Commons. However, August they must be on what they can and not report. Sir Lindsay earlier said he was a staunch believer and protector of press freedom, and that he firmly believed in the duty of reporters to cover Parliament. He said that he wanted to use the meeting to make a plea, nothing more, for the feelings of all MPs and their families to be considered and the impact of their safety when articles are written. UK press regulator IPSO has said it is exploring possible breaches of his code practice after receiving 5,500 complaints about the article. Well, I can see both sides of the story. I mean, if you are Prime Minister and you're seeing that sort of action, you are going to automatically think she's trying to take his eyes off the prize. But I can see she might have been totally innocent in this. We don't know. But we're reading what's ahead of us. We don't know what's going on. There you go. Justice Secretary Abbey said delays caused by the pandemic allows to make funding cuts. Some victims have said they will consider not reporting such crime due to their experiences of delays. He said that her real name was raised by someone she knew in 2017, but it took until late summer 2021 for her attacker to be in jail. I don't even have the words to explain how awful it has been, she said. Despite seeking justice, she said she had no confidence in the system. God forbid it ever happened again. Or to any of my family, what I wouldn't mind going through the system and even more to the crime of this nature. The data from July to September 2021 bills, on average, a case length for sexual offences was 260 days, or about 9 months. The longest period for sexual offences in cases in Leicester was 453 days, about 15 months on average to go through the plan court. Limit sexual offences average of 6 days, about 2.5 months. Case length is considered time of the the average case length for serial sexual offences is 6,208 for October 2021. At the same time period, case lengths for robbery offences averaged 221 days, about 7 months, while violence against a person was 206 days, about 6.5 months. Well, due to their nature, sexual offences cases increasingly involve large amounts of evidence gathered on mobile phones and social media, which can make things difficult for police. Prosecutors and victims need someone to collect compelling evidence of what happened to her and felt confident her attacker to record. But it didn't happen in that way, she said. The Crown Prosecution Service eventually authorised the police to charge the suspect with someone to later. Because of backlogs, the earliest trial was available in April 2020. Closure caused by the COVID pandemic meant the case was back in 2021. The attacker was not convicted and jailed until late summer 2021. I think if I had reported it, I would have more of my mental health now a lot quicker than by extending the ordeal by having an industry system, she said. A woman who was a victim of a serious sexual assault when she was 15 told BBC Radio 4 Today programme her case had taken almost 4 years to conclude when her attacker had been guilty last year. If I could take back reporting, it to save myself the trauma that I've put through in a heartbeat, she said. Like the woman, now 19, had to protect others from their assailant, she go the whole thing again. She said that when she found out her court hearing had been postponed from October 2021 to November 2021. Due to defendant living with someone who had COVID, it was like her body had just shut down. It had already been 2.5 years, and it was just about to be over, and then it was taken away from my feet. Data about the Crown Court's published here after BBC freedom of the information press comes and big concerns about backlogs across courts, industrials and magistrates. Moving on now, ladies and gents. Moving on now. Last but not but not least, thank you ever so much for tuning in, guys. Essex residents putting black bin bags face crackdown. 10% of food waste is recycled by the average Essex household since 2018. More rigorous action may have to be taken to stop excessive amounts of food waste being ultimately dumped in landfill, Essex County Council has heard. According to the most figures from 2018, just 10% of food waste is recycled by the average Essex household. Tonnage of separately collected food waste sent for recycling was 4,337,000 tonnes in 2018. And given that with an average home wastes around 2 tonnes of food each year, the vast majority of food is grown in general waste. That level of wastage will have to be addressed, said Malcolm Buckley, Cabinet Number of Waste Reduction and Recycling, who called food waste a requirement when he spoke at Essex County Councils. Cabinet meeting last week for the sign-off of a new contract for the disposal of bio-waste in the county. He said there's still food waste being put out in the residual waste bags, and that is something of concern that we are working with in collection authorities to try to discourage. And I think some of the proposals of the Environment Act will actually help us in that respect, because when we actually do analyse the amount of waste there is, and you look at what should be in there, they are two very different. And I think inevitably there's going to become a situation where collection authorities have to take a rather more rigorous action to ensure that people do separate the materials. The Environment Act is a step in the right direction. The proposed new 5-year contract, which are now out for procurement, aim to provide an economical and sustainable disposal option for segregated municipal food and green waste, as well as transfer and haulage. Essex County Council said the existing bio-waste framework does not provide adequate long-term capacity and financial security for this material. The new contract aims to overcome this by locking in process capacity with suppliers for a minimum term of 5 years to suppliers with no long-term security. He added, we are now looking for contract to replace the existing contract when it expires to make sure our food waste is properly dealt with, transported correctly, likewise with mixed food and food and green waste taken to correct places dealt with a proper manner. A report from the RAP, which promotes and encourages sustainable resource use, says the UK's households still waste 4.25 million tonnes of food a year. That could even have been eaten, worth 14 billion. This amounts to 700 for an average family with children. Councillor Buckley added, food waste is something of concern. I think not morally, but also financially, and I think to throw food away, really, we should almost be viewing that as a crime. Absolutely. I don't know what your fortake is on that, guys, but that is proclamation news. And Gavin, we're going to wrap that up there. I've got to get on with my day. You absolute wondrous people. I will catch you soon. Take care, one love, and speak soon. Thank you so much. Take care, one love. God bless.